everyone, Holly with Killer Beads and Kateri Designs. Today we're going to do this project for the crystal and pearl dangles from the FacetJewelryBox.com subscription. I've been through this, so you can see I've pre-done some of these things. I've tried making this video a couple times and I've ran into a few snags. First snag, number one, is this. I have a new phone, which I used to film, as some of you know, and it's just an upgraded version of what I already had, and it is not camera friendly for making videos when you need an outside source monitor to help you stay in frame. So that long words being said, it will not go into landscape mode when an HDMI cord is plugged in. I have no idea as to why. It's just completely silly. Maybe somebody forgot to put that line of coding in there when they programmed it. I don't know. But it's making it hard on me because I'm seeing myself, when I'm checking to see where I'm at, I'm seeing myself in portrait mode, which is sideways. And that makes it a little bit harder for me to kind of see where I'm at. I don't know if there's a way to make the monitor change it. I have no idea. But it's, you know, making it difficult on me. Anyway, so that's one. Number two, I ran into a snag with the material from here. This is 24 gauge wire for the wrapping of the earrings, for the wrapping of the crystals. And what happened was I was in the middle of wrapping the wire here, and it snapped. So I tried to use, take that piece away and then try to use part of it. It just would not come out the right way I wanted to. So I got my own wire, which is very similar. It's 24 gauge as well. It's just, mine feels a little heavier than this even, but mine could have been mislabeled, I suppose. But different manufacturers, maybe that should be it. But that shouldn't affect the gauge. It's just a slight difference. But, and I will talk to the company because that does this. They should just include, this is a beginner level, and they should include extra wire because people who are just starting out, may need that extra wire to be able to, if they have mistakes. The other thing is that because it is so thin, even expert levels, or I wouldn't call myself an expert, but you know what I mean. I'm proficient in what I'm doing, and it still snapped on me, and all I was doing was wrapping it around the side and holding on to it. And metal fatigue can happen very easily the lighter you go. So with your gauge, the higher the gauge, the thinner the wire, the easier metal fatigue can happen. So anyways, that's what had me, get all out of sorts, so to speak. The chain, you follow the instructions, the chain is fine. You do need, I would read through your instructions first and go back and forth to see, this is the necklace, we'll do that later. But go through and see what you need to do with your materials first and get everything set out to the side, because you're going to have to measure these out. They have different, you have two pieces that are 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 inch, and two pieces that are 3/4 inches. Sorry, I said that wrong again. 1.5 inches, and then two pieces that are 3/4 inches. So, and then you get a little bit left over. You can, even split that in half and, have different things happen with that. Now, this is included. This is the thing. And I tried to do some of these ahead of time just because it took a lot of time. And I want to make this an easy video for everybody. So, and we're doing beginner level because everybody can do it. And you experts out there can, bump this up and do lots of different things with it. You can add your own stuff to this. It's one of the things that tells you in the book to get creative, add to what they already have there or keep the way it's designed for, from the booklet. They do provide you with ample, as I said in the beginning on the unboxing, ample amounts. The only exception I would say would be the wire. I would have included more wire because people are beginners and they need, maybe make some practice runs or whatever. So you do have extra Swarovski cubes. These are red with this beautiful AB fire polish looking finish on it, but there's no number on the front. I think on the back I think that's the number where you can get more if you wanted to. Excuse me. And you do have an extra pearl and crystal. You can do something with that as well. You get your findings. You have your head pins and your ear hooks, your ear wire hooks. The head pins, they're extra too, that are in there. You can use with those 2 extra beads if you wanted to, if you want to add something else to it. So that's it. And then now the head pins, they're the shorter version for these here, and it makes it really hard to wrap them in a unified manner, so to speak. So people who are beginners, don't worry about these little small ones but you do need to make sure you're using your heavier chain nose or your heavier flat tip pliers to help you wrap it around it. Even if it just does a little bit, it's fine. This is very hard to wrap when it's this small, unless you've got stainless steel fingernails, and you can do that easily. It's hard to get that in there because the chain, that's the other part about being beginners, the chain makes it cumbersome when you're trying to hold your loop and trying to get it wrapped around. So this is a somewhat, I would say this design somewhat, I don't know if I would call it whimsical as much as I would call it, like, you know, part whimsical, part gypsy-ish looking. You know, it's freelance, so to speak. It's not, you know, complete precision. So for you new beaders, don't worry about the wires not being complete. Now, you're gonna have to, this is the one thing I didn't do, you're gonna have to, when you're doing your loops for these, when you stick your head pin in there, and the head pin at the bottom, and then you put a loop on it, you need to insert your chain onto that loop and then close the loop. That's for all of them. And your 1.5 inches are going to go on your pearls, and your 3/4 inches are going to go on your crystals. And the leftover, as I said, you could split the leftover in half and just put it at the bottom here along with the other pieces if you want to. It's just up to you. But I'm going to keep that to the side and just use that someplace else. Let me put it here. Okay, and then I am, like I said, a bit discombobulated, so you have to please excuse me because it really throws me off on that. The other thing is it goes out of focus too. It's not, I've even didn't hit the autofocus and I'm still having issues with it. So, I may have to find another camera to use to film, but we'll see. Anyway, back to the pieces. Now, if you open up your booklets, if you have them with you, the booklet gives you very good detailed instructions on how to do these kind of wraps and loops. I'm going to show you how to do it too. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to assume that you've got the book. So do open up your book and follow the instructions and follow that with me. But like I said, I've pre-done all my my beads. I've pre-hung all these except for these so that I can show you how to do a loop if you don't know how and you want to see someone learn how to do it. There's also very good, extremely good tutorials on YouTube on how to do a loop on a head pin and to wire wrap. I mean, it's really, really simple and easy to do. So the top part, which I already did on this one here, because I'll show you the bottom part. The top part is easier because you don't have to worry about the bead being in the way. The second part is a little bit more cumbersome because you have to, you know, not scratch the crystal or crack it or break it when you're closing this off. So, but you do need to leave the bottom loop open. So I'll show you that. So these earrings, this is what they look like here. And you've got this here, you've got these two pieces in here, and then your ear wire hooks attached to there. So it's actually, it is a very simple thing. It's just getting all of your things lined up and in process where you need them. Let me get this out of the way so it's trying to focus on things it's not supposed to. It's just get your supplies done and get your stuff pre-made before you get started. And that's what I recommend in doing any of your projects that you want to follow the instructions. Try to get what they're asking you to do done and before you get started attaching everything together. so that you can just easily go through the steps once you're putting everything where it belongs. All right, so now if you look at the instructions, that's the other thing. This is a very good close-up. This is a close-up of this bead and this piece right here. You can see this right here. Okay, we'll do it like this. Okay, so this piece is going like this, and this is that bead there. And this is a close-up of it. Now see how far down that seams that is? It really is not that far. It's because it is close-up. Let's see, I have that right there. Let's see if I can get it. Where it's showing how it's just not that, it's not that much. It looks like it's a lot, but it's not. If you actually went down as far as that looks like you're going down, it'll be very long. Now, you can do that to change your design. If you want to make this a little bit more longer and, you know, more that way, then you can. But when you're doing this, and just make sure whatever you're doing on one, you're doing on the other. That's very important. So what I did with this is I matched this up with this to make sure we were in the same space or close enough to it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with one earring longer than the other. So I like that. That's why I started going to the loops. The wire wrapping though gives it more of a does give that more of that gypsy kind of whimsical look when you wire wrap. It gives it a little bit more artistic expression, so to speak. Okay, so like I said, we do need to leave this open though because we have to attach the chains. So I'm simply just going to take my chain nose or whatever. These are pliers, just round tip pliers. This is a three-piece tool. It does closes off the jump rings or whatever, and then it cuts, and it also, you can use it as pliers. So now I put it right up against my cube, and I give it a slight, oops, that was more than a slight, just a very slight gap, just very slight. Now on the loop, your pliers are, you can, if you have them like this, if they're not the whole same size, you can use this back part of it to make a bigger loop. The smaller the tip, the smaller the loop, so to speak. So whatever you want to do with it, that you can do that in your own creativity. They also make tools to do this, but I'm going to show you just in case nobody has a tool. All right, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to do a 90-degree angle. It's just like it shows in the booklet. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to put them on the top here, making sure it's up against that loop. And I'm going to come back around with that, all the way around, just like that. I'm take my pliers out, and you have that kind of shepherd's hook going on there. See how it's going there? Okay, so I'm going to take my pliers and put them back in that place. I'm going to hold it tight. I'm going to bring this around, and I'm going to come around like that. Okay. Now, you can take your flat tips and you can twist it to the way you want it and make sure it's in there, whatever. But we do need to leave that loop open because we have to put pieces in here. So, whatever you do with one, you do with the other. Get these out of the way for now. And let's see. I may have to put my glasses on because these loops are really small. Oh, and when you're cutting, you will be cutting your chain. You just take your ruler, and it doesn't have to be, it's 1.5, but if you're like one little piece off, don't don't freak out. It's supposed to be, different. All right, so I'm probably here. Well, I don't even know why I keep trying to do it without my glasses. Okay, so hopefully I don't go out of, see, I just keep going out of frame because I can't see where I'm at because I'm sideways. You don't see me sideways, but I see myself sideways, so it's hard to. Let me see. I need to open up this gap a little bit. So, and like I said, the 24 gauge is a little bit easier. Now, I almost close it off. I don't need to close it off yet because I need to put this other one on there. So you just put those two on there, and this is where, to me, this is going to be the hardest part for somebody who's just beginning, because you have to stay out of the way of the chain. You don't want to, you know, mash the chain. At the same time, you don't want to not do it right. All right, so you can take this, because this is 24 gauge and it's easy to get started, and just hold on to that and just come around. And the way you get it tight is you keep your finger close to it. Now I'm going to have to get my pliers, but I want to get a smaller set of pliers. Hold on. I don't even know where my little tip ones are. With these long ones. These are the ones I got in the, those are the ones I got in the thing. And I want to see how I'm keeping the chain away from the end of my pliers. See, it's not, I'm not squishing the chain. You want to keep this close by just giving a nice firm, not hard, but firm. And you can even keep your finger close to it to do it. We're only going to go, and you want to wrap it around, not on top of it. So you just go to the side. And if it starts getting away from you, and it's getting too light, these ones won't do it, because they're too, yeah, that's going to be too. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you get close to your, when you have a crystal, it's going to be harder to do that. So I'm going to take I'm going to try to hold this as best as I can. And then take this and squeeze it to make it more uniform, okay? Now, when we get down to, get that on there again. When we get down to where we're close to that crystal, I want to cut it off, because I don't want to have to, I don't want to squish the crystal. So I want to get it close enough. And then I'm going to take it right about there. And then I'm going to come over here with my, you can do your flush cutters. I don't have an extra pair for wire that are flush. I only have the beading wire, not the artistic wire. Nippers that will get in here. I have ones that are round, but not the ones that will get in here. And just very carefully, you can kind of move that out of the way a little bit. You want to very carefully make sure the only thing that you're cutting is the wire. And these are the tools I got from bbcraft.com, and they're okay, but they've worn out really quickly. Let me see if I get this in here. And then you want to just slowly close that gap without scratching that crystal. You can maybe use your finger, but when you get to this point, it starts getting harder to use. So just take your pliers and just start going around without squishing. Sorry, without squishing your crystal. Sorry, and your other pieces of work, and just close that off. And then go around in the circle. And you may have to hold the other end so it doesn't twist on you. Okay, and then because it is 24 gauge, just very carefully shape it back into place the way you want it. And this will spin. Now look how pretty that is. Sorry about my hands, guys. Got ink all over the place, and the dogs at the vets, and oh, that was an ordeal yesterday. All right, take your other one, and let's see, and hold this just enough, just slightly open it, and put our wire on here. It is so bizarre. It's like watching yourself upside down. Let me see if I can get that screen to do something, but, and I'm impressed with this box. So far I think it's really nice. The quality is amazing. As I said, the only thing that I would say anything about it, it's not their fault. It just could be manufacturer. It just could be me and the manufacturer, heavy hand. Was pulling on it harder than I should have. It just, whatever. But that's the thing, is why you try it out, because people who are new are not going to know. Just like when you're crocheting for the first time or knitting for the first time, you don't have the tension right the first time. Your tension's all over the place. Well, that's the same way with beading wire. Your tension can go all over the place. So for a beginner, they really should include But it even happens to people who are experts, so, you know, don't feel bad. It's just, it happens to everybody. I'm glad that it happened when I was trying it out so that I can say something about it and hopefully make a change for them to do that. But aside from that, I'm having one of those days. All right, let's see. Now I got fur. The cat laid on my mat again. He's not feeling too well. You know what? I don't like the look of that one part right there. I'm going to just go right behind it. It's looking a little bit suspect. It might be where I clipped it off. So I'm just going to give it, there we go. Just that one loop and you won't notice that at all. I could take it off, but it's no really need. Nobody's going to notice the difference. Nobody but me. It adds to the character, so to speak. Okay, so here we go. Now these are, like I said, these earrings, and earrings usually are, they're pretty easy. As I said, you can hold it with your fingers or hold it with the pair of pliers. Either way you want to do it. I'm going to grab this a little bit higher up than I did before. Actually, let me just hold on to it for the first few loops here. And just use your finger. Now see, I just went to the side of where I wanted it. So I'm going to pull it back up. Use my finger to tell it to go down. This bead in the way is not really helping. Make sure you don't grab your, I'm going to pull it tight because it wants to go the opposite direction I wanted it to go in. And then pull it down and pull it down. Kind of like you're winding up a box almost, see? And don't worry about this bottom part. You can straighten it out and use it. Now I'm not sure about their one, if it can reuse, because like I said, it may have just been the manufacturer. All right, so I want to cut it off again. Mine is the Parawire, and I think they still sell it, but I think you have to get it through a dealer. I don't think you can buy it direct. But Parawire, and you may find it online from somebody selling their stuff, which is how I got every single ounce of Parawire I have. Came from one person when I first started beading. Hold on. Oops. Got a piece in there, it won't let go. There we go. And this is right there, it's already, it just was ready to come off. And then I'm gonna take my flat tip and see how that's bent. Just bend it back. And because it's 24 gauge, it's going to bend on you. It's gonna get misshapen while you're trying to do this. Try not to scratch the crystal. And make sure you do get that flattened out, because if you don't, someone's going to cut their finger on it. You're going to make sure it's not where anybody can get to it. And it's at an angle where I can't really go perpendicular with my, if that's the right word, I can't remember anymore. All right. So make sure you feel that. Make sure there's nothing grabbing or clinking or scratching me. And there we go. Now is the easy part. This is super easy. You just take your hooks and you open up, so you find the opening, and it's when they open. Some of them open from the back and some of them open from the front. Now because this is a, it's on this it's on this wire, this will spin, so you don't have a direction you want it to go in. It doesn't matter, because it's going to spin no matter what you do. All right, so you can take your round tip pliers if you want to and open them up, but mine don't work very well when it comes to closing them, and these are a little bit inward, so you can even take your flat tip and just open it just slightly. You don't want to open it too much. Again, even with these ear wires, you get metal fatigue. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to just slightly press on it till it closes it to that end. And if your little spring goes through that, then it's not closed enough. But aside from that, that's closed. Let me do the next one. Super easy. Get whatever pliers that works for you. They need to be you need to be a little bit soft-handed about it. And just pull it up just a little bit. And this ear wire, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in first, but the ear wire is actually wanting to go that way. So that the hook is. So once I get it in here, I'll flatten it out and make it go the right way. And you just do that right there. There we go. And just take the end there and just very gently press it till it touches the wire. And then there you go. And those are your beautiful earrings. They're very pretty. I love the quality is amazing. The tutorial is pretty straight on. Tells you how to do it. Sorry, I'm not in frame there. Tells you pretty much how to do it. I don't know how to hang this on me where y'all can see it. Here we go. Put it like that. And no, it's not working. Now they're intertwined now. So, you know, it's very straightforward. It's very easy. It's a very pretty design, very pretty, not pretty, it's very nice materials, all of it. You do get some extra spares. You can make this, you can actually incorporate this into that necklace if you wanted to, I suppose. Same thing here if you want to. When we do the necklace, we will do the design as it is in the kit. If you want to add stuff to it, that's what you do while we're doing it. Let me put this in here so I don't lose that. And then, like I said, you get some extra beads to do stuff with. And these are just, to me, these are very pretty. You could wear those out to dinner. You could wear them on New Year's Eve. You could wear them on Christmas, whatever you want to do. And I think it came out pretty nice. What do you think? I think they came out really nice. It seems like pretty straightforward and easy project. And 26 minutes in, mostly because I talk too much. But like I said, part of it is going through your booklet and getting your materials put together. So go through and do all the little steps first, that, you know, getting your things prepped out, and then go through the process and putting them together. That may help you to do it much better. But always read your instructions when you're doing a project, unless you just decide you want to take the material and do whatever you want to with it. But it also tells you here you can change it up. You can do anything you want to. You can put the pearl on the shorter end and the crystal on the longer one. Just whatever. It's your world. Beat it how you want. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Y'all have a blessed day.